I want to start this video by telling you a few stories. First, check out this suggestion box. I was at a conference and walking around the hotel, and I happened to see this suggestion box. And I found it a little bit curious because it is a suggestion box, but I looked all around and I didn't see any paper. I didn't see any pencils. I didn't see any pens. I didn't see any way for people to actually write down their suggestions and put it in the box. Next is this flat tire. Oh boy, let me tell you that story. I had rented a car because I was traveling a long distance, and I saw that the car's notification said that one of the tires was losing air very fast. I pull over and I see this flat tire with all of this goo all over it. Apparently, what happened is that somebody had tried to patch that tire with this kind of patch glue. I don't know. I'm not very good at deciphering how a flat tire should or should not be fixed. And the rental company just happened to miss this very important detail. And I had to just wait, about 4.5 hours stranded with nothing and no one around, just waiting for a tow truck that I think I'm still waiting for, actually. Finally, I recently took a cooking class on how to make mole. Now, if you're not familiar with mole, it is a wonderful, wonderful Mexican dish. And apparently, the story behind the very first mole is really unique. And there are different styles of mole. It's not just one recipe. Really, it has to do with how many ingredients will fit together. Usually anywhere between 20 up to 100. Now, what's the point of these stories? I don't know. I have no idea what the point of these stories are, but I do have a point. These 3 photos are things that happened to me. As I was traveling, as I was living life, something intrigued me, something sparked my curiosity, something made me think, that's interesting or unique or a little bit outlandish or frustrating. And so I took out my phone and I took a picture of that moment. And on my phone, I have a folder of pictures that is entitled Stories. And when I'm preparing to speak or train, or when I'm preparing to, record a YouTube video, and I feel like the point needs an illustration or, a story, and I can't quite think of something that would match, I look in that folder and I scan through all of the hundreds, if not thousands of stories that I've accumulated over the years. You see, we are walking, talking story banks, but too often we forget to record, literally put a record to those stories. This is an unbelievable technique for your public speaking strategies. Too often I hear clients saying, I just don't know what story to tell her. I don't really have a story. And I understand the frustration, but it's absolutely unbelievable. Literally, I don't believe it to think that you don't have thousands of stories at your disposal that you can use to teach a lesson. And I like it how Carmine Gallo says it. He says, you're telling stories every day. In a business presentation, you're telling the story behind your campaign, company, or product. In a job interview, you're telling the story behind your personal brand. In a marketing pitch, you're telling the story about your idea. Yes, we're all storytellers and we're telling stories in business each and every day. So it's very simple and easy. Take out your phone, create a folder in your photos that says stories. And as you live your life, as you see things that pique your interest or your curiosity or your frustration or whatever the case may be, just snap that photo. It takes less than 2 seconds. And when you're preparing for a talk, look at that folder and see what story might relate. So if you're thinking, okay, great, I have this folder and I have hundreds, if not thousands of stories to tell, but how do I incorporate those into my talk? In the description to this video, I am linking a document. It is my story impact structure and a way on how you can structure any speech, any team meeting, any sort of persuasive talk by using stories. It's more of a workbook than it is a handout. Take that workbook, take one of the photos from your photo bank and start to weave your stories into your talk, and then let me know how it goes. In the document, it's my contact information. I would love to answer any questions that you have on how to incorporate your stories into your talk. And as always, make sure that you're coming off mute and speaking up your story. We'll see you soon.